One of my points of waking up, there's been a few, but one specifically around the whole sustainability piece was about 14 years ago. And I went to a seminar where we were really shown what was happening in terms of the ecosystem breakdown and ultimately what was waiting for us. And this was a time where I didn't know anybody in my environment that was having that conversation. But I'll always remember that really real wake-up point. And the wake-up point came when at the end of the seminar, they asked us, so when the children ask you, what did you do when the planet was dying? What will you say? And in that moment, I understood that actually this wasn't about somebody else's problem. This was about me being able to live in integrity with myself. And I wanted to be able to look into the eyes of the next generation and say, I showed up. This is what I did. And in the last 14 years, that has been part of what I've been focusing on. I remember a little bit more recently, I was at a dinner party, and there was this one guy who was very into the positive impact sustainability piece. And he was kind of sharing some thoughts on that, and he was sharing some of the things that he did. And he was talking to somebody else who whose job was not in that. You know, he had a kind of what I'd call a more standard job, not really focused on positive impact or sustainability or those bigger issues at all. And it was really interesting watching the dynamic between the two, because the person who was doing something would keep sharing, you know, ideas and thoughts, and the other person, the only thing they would do would explain why it wouldn't work, why it wasn't a good idea. But they weren't coming up with anything constructive or helpful. The thing is that I knew that that person had 2 children. And so in the end, I did look at him and I say, oh, you know, if I can join this. And at one point in the conversation, I asked him, the thing that I'm really curious about is why us, where we don't even have children, are showing up more than you are to be able to make sure that the next generation has a future. So ultimately, we're showing up for your own children more. We're sacrificing more for your own children than you're willing to do for them. And it was really interesting, because for the rest of that dinner, his attitude completely shifted. And he started to bring constructive ideas. And in the end, we had a really good conversation. But the reason that I mention this is that for each one of us, there is an essential question that we need to answer, which is when the children ask you, what were you doing when the planet, or let's be honest, humanity was facing dying? What did you do?